All right, in this segment, we're going to talk about the LightSwitch, which is kind of a specialty tool, and it basically only has one option on it. And what it does is it prepares a scene kind of really quickly to render for global illumination. You can see right now what we have is all of our spotlights, softboxes, and skylights are actually lighting this traditionally, kind of with normal cinema lights. Now they are the light rig, but basically we're able to render this scene without the aid of global illumination or ambient occlusion or anything like that. But let's say that we wanted to incorporate global illumination into this scene, right? So what we would have to do is kind of come into each of these lights and shut off this switch, which is the standard light on switch. You could shut that off on each of your lights. But if you're like me and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lights in the scene, 5 if you count the skylight, this can get kind of tedious, especially if you just want to see what global illumination looks like, and then maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. And especially if you have more than 5 lights in the scene, you have 10, 20, you don't want to go and by hand turn all those off. So what the LightSwitch does is just add it to your scene. You can see there's some kind of settings here. Make sure the object is placed at the bottom of the object manager. This is just the way that the script works with and actually thanks to the guys at Maxon for helping me figure this code out and helping me actually write some of it. So thank you guys. But just know that you need to pull this all the way at the bottom of your scene, global light switch, and then this is it. This is the only option right there, global light switch, turn it on. And what this does is when we hit render, you're going to see the reflections still work, but what's only on right now is our default light. And this is the default light that's just kind of on whenever you turn on cinema, right? And this is exactly what we want. What we want is to use global illumination now, using the global light switch to shut off the actual lights. We want to go now into our render settings and add global illumination under effect. I'll go into more detail in this later. In general, you want to go to IR plus QMC still image. If you're like me, you want to set a 1.8 gamma. I'm on Leopard on a Mac. If you're on Windows or you're using Snow Leopard, you want to set that to 2.2. So that's gamma, and that's it. Now I'm actually going to zoom back in just so we don't need to see all the lights and everything. And now you can see our global illumination is all set up. It's rendering, and hopefully we get something nice and sexy looking. But what that global light switch allows us to do is globally turn off all of the lights. And as you can see, the visibility of the lights didn't turn off. It's just the lights that lit the scene traditionally. And that does look pretty good. Look at that. Just realize that there's a difference between global illumination lighting, which is essentially just looking at the brightness of all these pixels, and an actual light, which are like these lights that light the scene kind of in a normal traditional sense. And what this global light switch is doing is shutting all those off all at once. So now if we actually dig into the meat of some of these rigs and we look at our light, you can see it's off. And if we turn our global light switch back off, then our lights come back on. So that's it. That's all it does. It kind of prepares a scene globally for global illumination. It's really useful, especially when you have a lot of stuff going on in your scene. So if you want more detail on the global illumination stuff, I'm going to have separate tutorials just about global illumination and setting up your scene and using the light kit to set up GI. So please watch those if you have any more questions on global illumination. Thanks again, guys, for getting the kit and watching. I'll see you guys in another tutorial.